Oh, okay. We're recording it to make it available as well if those who have chosen not to join us. In any event, let's start. We have a nice evening of the heart of Buddhism, as you know. It's possible if anyone does join us, they may have no or little or no knowledge of Buddhism. So we're going to deal with compassion, and Joyce is going to do a reading about compassion and the goal of happiness, or rather the path to happiness using compassion. So we may as well start, or we'll run out of time. Okay, so as I say, only the refuge thing, simply because I thought it would be more accessible to anybody. I'll start as normal because there's no one there at the moment. Lama Geno, Lama Geno, Lama Geno, Lama, take care of me, guide me, inspire me, make me one with you. Bear with me, I'm going to share the screen. Refuge prayer. Here we are. Okay, so as always, twice in Tibetan. There we are. Jango Badu Dani Janji Dagi Gonde Jipe Sonamji Rola Benjil Sonje Drumarajo Sonje Jodang Zoji Jonam Lam Changzo Badu Dani Jamzonji Dagi Gonde Jibe Zonamji Rola Benjil Sonje Drumarajo. In the Buddha, Dharma, and noble Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. Through the virtue generated by this meditation and practice, may I achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Okay, so that's the end of the prayers. And here we are back again. All familiar faces. Kettering has let us down badly. Anyway, as I said, we are recording it, so you're like a silhouette, Joyce. You're like one of those black and white cutouts. Never mind. Okay.
I don't know how to get my picture up.
All right. I see somebody called Milic has joined us. You're very welcome. We're about to commence an evening dedicated to the path of happiness via compassion. So Joyce is about to do a reading, an explanation of compassion as the path. Thanks, Joyce.
Okay. Well, just in case anyone has joined us and doesn't know what Buddhism is about or would like to know, or just to remind us, just very quickly, the basic doctrines of Buddhism are said to be the teachings of the Buddha. They are based on the middle way, the Four Noble Truths, and the practice of the Eightfold Path. It emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior and meditation. The first noble truth is life means suffering. The second noble truth, the origin of suffering is craving. The third noble truth is the cessation of suffering is attainable. And the fourth one, the path of cessation of suffering. The Eightfold Path is the middle way between excessive self-indulgence and extreme self-mortification. It describes the way to end suffering as told by the Buddha. by right seeing or right view, right thoughts and intentions, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right contemplation. So that's what we normally try to follow there. So tonight's reading is the Buddha's Path to Happiness. As humans, we long for happiness. We search for ways to achieve happiness. We are in the constant state of wanting to be happy. And thus, the constant search for what would make us happy causes us to suffer and be miserable. A lot of times, things seem to make us happy actually end up causing us to feel sad. Things that once held value become old, and we find them burdensome because we want to replace them. We go through life wanting and looking for things while looking for the I or the me. We always utter the words, my happiness. But this constant selfish longing to fulfill the wants of self and the ego causes us more strife. Buddha, however, taught us that there is a simple path to happiness, and that is compassion. Compassion lets us forget the selfishness and the constant want of the ego and think of the happiness of others. Why do we need to be happy? Happiness gives us a smile on the face when we wake up in the mornings to face a hard day. Happiness is like a boost to our system that allows us to do anything without complaint and to face any pain head on. But happiness is not just that giddy, excited feeling. It's also the serenity and contentment in our heart when we lie down at night. It's that feeling of calm despite all the troubles. And this is the very reason why we need to feel happy. Happiness has many benefits. Aside from the obvious, all humans seek it. Happiness also helps us go through the suffering in life much more easily. But true happiness does not come from things. It comes from being able to share moments of compassion with others. It comes from kindness and charity to those who need it. Happiness also comes from peace when we do not anger those around us. The path of real happiness comes from compassion. Buddha taught many things about compassion in his teachings. Buddha taught us the two things that we need to achieve for enlightenment. These are wisdom and compassion. He taught that one is related to others. In order to be wise, one must be compassionate. And to be compassionate, one must be wise. Compassion stems from the understanding that there is no such thing as boundaries between ourselves and others, that we are all one. Suffering stems from many things, but it mostly comes from selfishness. It comes from thinking about the I and the my. Hence, when we become wise and understand that there's no such thing as them and me, become more loving and compassionate. The teachings of the Buddha give rise to wisdom. They teach us the right way through the Eightfold Path. These teachings also teach us that all beings suffer through the lessons of the, suffer from the lessons of the Four Noble Truths. But once we understand these teachings, we begin to learn that we need to be more compassionate and help others relieve themselves of suffering. Compassion is the inner core of the universe, and it all begins with our heart to be one with those who need us. It's understanding that all suffer and all beings are part from the whole. It is our duty to help those who need us. It is also not causing pain to others. Compassion chooses the path of peace and caring for all instead of putting others in strife or misery. True compassion is not helping others and then seeking fame, glory, or praise. It is not the form of help where we ask others to repay our kindness or even thank us. True compassion stems from wisdom that all beings and oneself are one. There is no I, there is only we. True compassion for others, on the other hand, is not just helping others, it's also living a day-to-day life that is helpful to all. Simple acts such as conserving water helps others. Being on time helps others. Doing your work dutifully helps others. Helping those who are despised by others. These are acts of compassion. Compassion leads to happiness because it gives you no room for anger. Compassion eases feelings of selfishness and self-doubt. It allows you to rejoice in the simple things and to truly celebrate life. Many complicated things arise from selfishness. When we think too much of our self-worth and our own selfish desires, we become hateful and resentful of others. These negative emotions pollute our beings. On the other hand, when we are compassionate, we do not demean from others. We do not hate or become selfish. This allows us to live a life which is simple and free from negative emotions. A lot of the times we forget to take care of ourselves. We try to take care of others too much, neglecting our own needs. This leads to feeling of low self-esteem and make us feel undervalued. However, once we truly learn the balance of helping others and caring for ourselves, we begin to be more kind-hearted and humane. Buddha himself tried to deny himself for 6 years as an ascetic, but when he meditated and discovered the middle way, he learned that he needed to balance his love for others as well as his love for himself. Compassion allows us to enjoy life more. Life is full of suffering. This is the first teachings of the Four Noble Truths. And since life is already full of suffering, we need wisdom and compassion in order to bear living life. When we are compassionate to ourselves and to others, we do not become easily angered. Rather, we try to understand things before reacting. When we are compassionate to ourselves, we do not overwork ourselves to earn money, but rather live a life of balance. Compassion helps us gain wisdom, and wisdom allows us to understand life. Gaining this understanding gives us the meaning in our lives. This meaning allows us to enjoy life. The Eightfold Path is a way of kindness, wisdom, and gentleness. It allows us to grow not only in mind and body, but also enables others to grow as well. If we choose compassion, we must choose to live by it every day. Once we realize that the path to true happiness is compassion, we are on our way to enlightenment.
Thank you, Joyce.
Okay, sorry about the coughing.
Not at all. So that was an extremely helpful introduction to the theme of tonight, which is that compassion leads to happiness. The path to happiness is largely reliant on compassion, but also wisdom. The two wings of a bird. The bird needs both wings in order to fly. So compassion and wisdom. But we're focusing now in practice on developing compassion, or rather revealing it. I mean, we have got compassion. It does need nurturing. It needs developing. It's like a newborn child has the potential to do a host of things, but these need nurturing and developing. It does require watering and fertilization and so forth. So there are various practices dealing with this particular feature, but the one I'm going to do tonight is an exercise that's from quite a well-known book, which many of you will know, called Taming the Tiger. The tiger that is being tamed is in fact our mind. And this exercise, meditation if you want to call it, relies on visualization. So I'll guide you through it, and I'll say a little bit about visualization briefly. So if you just assume an upright posture, you can do this exercise lying down, but maybe this is not the forum for that. Just the upright spine, not rigid. You can close your eyes or leave them open. And just for a few moments, focus on your breath, aware of the inhalation and the exhalation, breathing naturally, normally. Don't alter anything about your breathing. If your breathing happened to be rapid when we started this, then just continue. Just breathe the way you were, but just become aware of that. And allow yourself to relax as best you can. Relax your body. Just search your body, do a body scan, and notice if there's any tension, discomfort. Discomfort, if it's excruciating, will need attention now, but failing that, try and bear with it. I mean, the posture can become a little bit challenging over time, but I don't think so far this is problematic. But tension, if you discover there is any tightness, just try and loosen it. One technique is to imagine it. This is where I'm going to just describe what imagination visualization is. So just notice the location of any tension or even discomfort. And just imagine yourself breathing into that. You know, like the near miss. Or lowering yourself into your favorite chair. So any tension you can ease without any physical movement, simply breathing into it, relaxing into it, easing yourself into it. So establishing the situation we find ourselves in, become aware of the space around you. And your body in the midst of this space. Be aware of your surroundings, the sounds, the temperature, the sensations, if any, on your skin, or just the sensations of your clothing touching certain parts of your body. Be aware of the weight of your body making contact with the chair or whatever it is you're resting on. And as you breathe out, allowing any tension or residual tension to be released. Just letting go. So, the promised few words about visualization. Visualization doesn't mean seeing exactly what it is you're trying to visualize. It's imagining it. So, for instance, on a hot day like today, I'm sure if I said to you, imagine snow and a snow-covered landscape, you can do that. There you are. You don't necessarily see it as if it's a photograph or a film, as if you're there, but you can sense it. Can you not? You can sense an image of some sort, mental image. And it doesn't have to be clear. As I say, it doesn't have to be like a photograph or a movie or you looking directly at it. It's a sense, a belief that there is a thing called snow and the landscape is covered. Similarly, if I say, imagine the moon, there you go. Imagine your mother's face, there you go. So nothing problematic with that. It's simply imagining. People are thrown often by the instruction to visualize. Just imagine. That's all we require. So, for the purpose of our exercise, imagine now wide open space, unobstructed space. And in the middle of the space, imagine there is a gate or doorway. Doesn't matter how large. Just a belief that there is a space and that there is a gate or a doorway. And this doorway opens outwards, this gate opens outwards. On the out breath, and so now imagine that as you breathe out, the gate or the doorway opens outwards. And that the sensations that you're experiencing, be they positive or negative or neutral, painful or agreeable, whatever it is you experience, we can use for this exercise of developing compassion. So now imagine that whatever it is you're feeling, be it sad, happy, very comfortable, or in some discomfort, use that and imagine that you breathe that experience out through the gate or the doorway. And as you breathe out and it goes through this doorway, which opens outwards, it's converted, it's transformed to a golden light. Again, you needn't worry about not seeing this golden light, just get a sense of it being there, just a sense of it. So as you breathe out, whatever it is that you're experiencing, good or bad or negative, it goes through that gate or doorway and is transformed into a golden light. And this light is the golden light of compassion and goes outwards into space and goes out to all beings. So we're transforming whatever we're experiencing into the golden light of compassion and sending it out to all beings. Not just our friends, not just our relatives, not just the human species, all beings. Now, if it's the first time you've ever done this exercise, then you may not feel that way disposed to send out compassion to all beings. So it's useful to start off with maybe sending it out to someone you feel close to. So do start with that. There's always somebody that we feel some love, with whom we'd like to share compassion, wishing them compassion in the same way that a mother or a parent has for their infant child. So obviously you're going to have to inhale. I hope you have been. But continue like this, just practicing like this in whatever form is suitable for you. Sending out an imagined golden light representing compassion, which itself is a transformation of whatever you feel in your body or in your mind. And you can focus on somebody close to you or a group of people or beings, animals. It's your choice. Just practice like this, sharing, not keeping it for yourself, but sending out. And this golden light also comes back to you. Of course, everything sent out is returned in the scheme of things, and so sending compassion to yourself as well as your loved one or group of people or all beings out there. It's your imagination, it's your mind. Send it to outer space, to anything that may inhabit the vastness of space, or just send it out to yourself. As Joyce read, we have to be kind to ourselves in order to be kind to others. So if you feel the need to send yourself this golden light, then do so. It's very important. So in your own time, in your own way, practice this transforming of whatever you sense in your body or mind, whatever you experience, and imagining that it transforms into the golden light of compassion that's sent out. Trying to remember to transform whatever it is you experience, that anything can be used to be of benefit to others. That even your pain or heartache Even such negative things can be converted to a golden light of compassion, transferred and sent out to benefit others. So now relax your imagination. And become aware of your surroundings, stretching if you want, moving your fingers and toes, looking around slowly. So I shan't ask how you feel, but more often than not, people feel quite good after something like this. They feel a warmth, and the warmth usually is in the heart center, the chakra, because we're sharing. We're not always clinging and mine and, oh, he, she said this about me. We're just opening up, aren't we? One very quick story that I've shared with you before, but the Dalai Lama met an old friend who'd been imprisoned by the Chinese for some 20, 25 years. And when they met, Dalai Lama said, how was it? How was it for you? He said, how are you? And blah, blah, blah. And he said, it was okay, this man, monk. And he said, but there were times when I was worried, when I became very worried. And Dalai Lama was very concerned about this. He said, what happened? He said, at times I was almost losing my compassion for my jailers. Now, isn't that remarkable that you can have that sort of disposition when you're being imprisoned and who knows what else is being done to you physically or mentally. So developing that takes away this preoccupation with ourselves and ultimately leaves that warm, happy feeling, or it can do. So that's the development. So that's a signal to me to stop talking. And I don't know if it's Milica or Melissa, but nevertheless, you're very welcome, as I said. And we now end with, and I shall display it on the screen in a moment, we end with a dedication of merit. This is to seal, if you want, the practice. We, in effect, we give away whatever has happened in the same way that we've just been describing. We do not just keep it to ourselves, we share it with all beings, that is beneficial for them. And when we recite this prayer, we also dedicate it for the benefit of all beings, those who are suffering physically or mentally. And we wish that may they overcome their suffering, or at the very least be able to face it. And that's to all beings, as I said. Now, we normally have a specific dedication or two, but I think we'll just do it generally to all beings, wherever they are in their needs, may they benefit from this practice. So I'm just going to share this prayer, and we shall recite it once in Tibetan using the phonetics the second time in English. You can just listen or experience the energy of it. May whatever benefit arises from this practice go to the benefit of all sentient beings, stirred by the waves of birth, sickness, aging, and death. May they be free from the oceans of samsara. So we give away this practice and sharing it with all beings, and it comes back to us. So if there is a selfish motive at all, there is the wish that all beings will improve or gain happiness, and that includes ourselves, of course. So one few words to mention. A reminder, and Melissa or Milicha, you'll correct me. You can tomorrow well, there's a video of this, but the information contained in tonight's meeting will be published. So if you go back to our website, you will see the details of tonight's program with references to the book I've used and Joyce's notes that she read from. So back to Northan's Buddhists. Similarly, if you want to join us, and we have a visiting teacher next week, a former Zen Buddhist monk, Martin Goodson, who's a very long time attendee at our group teachings, very, very clear and knowledgeable. He's teaching next week. Let me have a look, get my phone. He is teaching, it's called Master Hakuin's Song of Meditation. So